Think about the last time you went to the dentist. You were probably focused on the cleaning, maybe a filling, or getting that x-ray done. But what if I told you the most important part of your visit actually happens before any of those tools even get picked up? Today, we're diving into why the simple conversation you have with your dentist is really the foundation of great dental care.
We've all been there, right? You're in the chair, nodding along as your dentist explains some procedure, but by the time you're checking out at the front desk, it's all just a blur. This is an incredibly common experience, and it points to a really critical gap in dental care that we're going to unpack today.
All right, so let's get into it. Why does a simple chat matter so much? Well, it turns out that good, clear communication is kind of the secret ingredient to a better, less stressful experience for absolutely everyone involved.
And hey, this isn't just a one-way street. Think about it from both sides. For you, the patient, a real conversation can seriously cut down on that dental anxiety we all know and helps you build actual trust. But flip it around. For the dentist, talking things through clearly improves their own accuracy, it reduces their stress, and it even lowers the chances of getting complaints. It really is a win-win.
So here's what it all boils down to. It's not just about teeth, it's about trust. When you feel like you've actually been heard and understood, you're way more likely to trust the person providing your care. And that trust, it's absolutely essential for getting the best possible health outcomes. Okay, so if it's so important, why does it go wrong so often? Well, it turns out there are some pretty common roadblocks that can get in the way of a really productive conversation at the dentist's office.
It's kind of a perfect storm of challenges, you know? Dentists are running on super tight schedules. At the same time, we as patients might not know all the technical terms, and when they use a lot of complex jargon, it just makes that gap even wider. Throw in potential language barriers, and sometimes just a simple failure to build a personal connection, and you've got a recipe for total misunderstanding.
And the impact of this is honestly staggering. Research found that patients remember less than half of the advice their dentists give them. Just let that sink in for a second. More than half of the vital information about your own health is getting lost in translation, not because anyone doesn't care, but because the communication just isn't effective. And the consequences are really serious. These communication breakdowns don't just cause a bit of confusion, they can lead to way more anxiety and people not following through with their treatment. And get this, in the worst cases, these misunderstandings are a major reason for malpractice complaints. It's often not about the dentist's technical skill, but about the breakdown in trust and communication.
So what's the fix? Well, the good news is that the world of dentistry is really starting to shift towards a model that puts you, the patient, right at the very center of the conversation. And this big shift is all built around one key idea: patient-centered care. It's a simple concept, but it's incredibly powerful. It basically means the dentist is there to treat a person, not just a mouth. Your personal situation, your fears, your values, they all become part of the equation when deciding on a treatment plan.
You can kind of break this approach down into 3 pillars. First, the dentist really tries to understand what's going on from your perspective. Second, making decisions becomes a team sport. You create the plan together. And third, the actual treatment happens at a pace that you're comfortable with. It's all about switching from a lecture to a real dialogue.
So let's look at some of the actual strategies that can help build this communication bridge, turning a visit from something you dread into a source of support.
And these are tools that really anyone can use. For dentists, it means dropping the jargon, maybe using a model or a diagram to explain things, and paying attention to body language. For us as patients, it means feeling like we have the power to ask questions until we actually get it. And for the dental office itself, it means scheduling enough time so these crucial conversations don't feel rushed.
Now, the really exciting part about all this is that it isn't just some nice idea anymore. Dental schools are fundamentally changing how they teach to make sure that future dentists have these communication skills right from day one. This is a massive shift in thinking. For decades, communication was seen as a soft skill, something that's just nice to have. But now, it's being taught and graded as a core clinical skill, just as important as knowing how to fill a cavity. It's a game changer.
One of the key techniques they're teaching now is called motivational interviewing, and here's how it makes a real difference for you. Instead of asking a question that gets a yes or no answer like, do you floss, a dentist might ask an open-ended question like, what makes flossing difficult for you? See the difference? That opens the door to a real problem-solving conversation. It's a whole method for building a partnership, just by listening and making sure you're both on the same page.
So, as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this thought.
The power to transform your dental care isn't just in your dentist's hands, it's in yours too. By being an active part of the conversation, you can make sure you get care that's not just technically good, but is actually right for you.